I'm talking C-O-A-C-H. C-O-A-C-H, Coach Calloway. He goes Super Saiyan when he hit the stage. Never make
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Coach Calloway. Welcome to the Rise and Dominate podcast, brought to you by CoachCalloway.com and our Elite Club members. All right, today's podcast I think is going to really be a eye-opener for you and really bring some value in your life. It's titled, Don't Be Goal-Oriented. I mean, what do you think about that comment that I am telling you that you should not be goal-oriented? Let me explain. I am not against setting goals. I believe you should set goals. Actually, you should set big goals, massive goals in your life. You need to have a target to shoot for, and that is what a goal is, and that's why it is needed. But there's two major points I'm going to make here in this podcast. And you must understand these 2 points. Number one, goals mean nothing without standards. Goals are just something that you write down, something that you maybe have in your head and that you've put on your grease board or put on your in your journal. You've set this goal, but you've just written them down. Most people never even achieve the goals that they write down. They end up quitting or giving up on them at some point along the way. And it's because you don't have standards around them. It's your day-to-day standards, the standards that you live by, that are going to determine your results and your outcomes in your life, not simply setting a goal and writing it down. And I have got plenty of coaching on setting standards to prop up your goals. But the second point that I'm going to focus on today is you cannot run your life being goal-oriented. Instead, you must be growth-oriented. Orient your life around growth and not goals. Same thing, oriented around standards and not goals. I was talking to a super high achiever, a really ultra successful person here recently. And he had a big goal and he worked really hard at building his company until he achieved that personal goal, which was to have a net worth and a bank account with over $20 million. That was his life's goal. That was his big target out in front of him. That's what he pursued his whole life, his whole career, building this company until he had a personal net worth of $20 million. And once he achieved it and he reached that goal and he had that $20 million in the bank account, he literally lost all of his desire. He lost all of his focus. A guy who was once super focused, super disciplined, and committed to doing the right things, to having high standards in his life, all of a sudden didn't have those standards anymore, didn't have the focus and the discipline that he used to have, didn't have the same outgoing, happy personality, that charismatic personality that attracted other people and people wanted to always be around him. This person lost all of that because he achieved his goal, and that goal was such a big motivator, and his whole life was oriented on achieving that goal. And once he achieved it and hit the goal, he had no more purpose in his life. He didn't have anything that drove him anymore. He had no reason to continue because his whole life's purpose was oriented around a single goal. And once he got there, he didn't know what to do. Therefore, he stopped being that happy person. He stopped being that focused and disciplined and committed and that charismatic person. All of the people that used to love to be around him longer wanted to be around him because his personality changed and his life changed for the worse. He became a negative person instead of a positive person. On the other side of that strategy or that line of thinking, goals in many cases, in a lot of people's lives, they never even achieve their goals. So unlike him that achieved the goal and then had no more purpose, most people set goals and then they don't reach them or don't achieve them. And it leads to being dissatisfied. It leads to being discouraged in life because you set this goal and for whatever reason you didn't achieve it. So you become dissatisfied, discouraged, unhappy. You get into a negative place. And in that negative impact on your life, it affects your happiness, your attitude, your belief, your mindset, and your future actions. Because when you don't achieve things, it then makes you think, well, why even put in the work? Why even have the discipline? I'm never going to get there anyway type of attitude. And when you're goal-oriented, you run a big risk at doing one of those two things, maybe hitting the goal, which is a good thing, but then it changing your life and ripping your purpose out from under you, or you don't hit your goal and you get into a negative mindset and you get into an unhappy place. Either way, when the goal is the main thing, when the goal is your primary focus and you're oriented your life around pursuing those goals. But when you do the opposite of that, if you pursue growth, if growth is what orients your life, if growth is what is your focus, self-improvement, self-development, if that is your primary thing that you're chasing on a day in and day out basis, you always have purpose. You always have reason to pursue good things and to pursue growth and to pursue wisdom and knowledge, which ultimately, by the way, in pursuing self-improvement and growth, it will lead you to achieving big, massive goals anyway. You will achieve those milestones of success and get those results that you desire to have in your life. See, my goals are only there. I set my goals only to serve my growth. My goals are only there to measure my growth and my self-improvement and my self-development. Do you get that? Do you get that subtle difference? It's massive. It's important. It's so important. See, if growth is the goal, then the process is always enjoyable. You always have purpose. See, as in being growth oriented, you have a destination, and that destination is really just found in the day-to-day journey. That journey never ends. It is a lifetime of good things. It's a lifetime of purpose. It's a lifetime of learning and growing. It's a lifetime of happiness and fulfillment. This is why many people, when they retire and they get to that stage in life and now they maybe have enough money, they don't have to work, so they retire, then they literally pass away. They literally die soon thereafter retirement. That happens so often in people's life because they've reached a final destination. They've reached a goal of retirement and they've lost their will to continue on. That is a dramatic statement, but that is true in a lot of people's lives. And maybe they don't literally die, although many people do, but they just lose enjoyment and they lose purpose and fulfillment. But when growth is your focus and growth is what orients your life, then the journey never ends. I learned this lesson in my life. I had big goals, and when I achieved them, I got the joy of achieving the goal that I had set for a few moments. And then what? Well, you have to set a bigger goal to continue to be driven. Growth, fuels my motivation, see? Growth sets my standards that I live by. See, my focus is on growth and self-improvement and self-development and not on some, mere materialistic, goal out there. And that is so, so critical in my life, I can tell you. My goals are like mile markers on a highway. I set them, but they're just mile markers along my journey. They are there to measure my progress and my growth and my self-improvement. They're not there to be the end of the journey. I want to encourage you to make this subtle but important adjustment in your attitude, in your focus, and in your purpose in your life. Seek self-improvement and growth. If that's what orients you, then I'm telling you right now, you will achieve more success, more happiness, find greater purpose in everything you do. And that is what CoachCalloway.com is all about. We are literally striving and becoming the #1 elite performance coaching online platform. We are focused on growth and self-improvement, self-development. We want you to be a part of it. If you're not, our goal is to develop the right mindset, strategies, habits, behaviors to unlock elite performance in every aspect of your life, professionally, personally, and financially. Our mission is simple: to make a positive impact by enhancing lives through elite performance coaching, success, and opportunity. And our motto is simple. It's to be elite and make plays and not excuses. Hope today's podcast has got you thinking and has motivated you. And we'll talk to you again soon. God bless.